You want to talk first and then do a video, or?
I'm gonna listen to you while you're talking
Okay.
as well,
All right.
if you don't mind.
All right. So this box shape, I think what they're getting at here is this is just a universal. What I mean, with the exception of the open strings, that's unique. But this, see, physically, I can play that, right? There it is. Right? So, nothing's changing there. So if you get any song in any key, you can probably turn to that box, all right? But kind of going a little bit deeper than that, if I'm in, they've got F written down there. So what notes are these? So I'm going to call, if I'm in the key of F, I'm going to say that's the root note, that's F. This next note in the box, that's a C note. That's the fifth of that key, or that chord rather. Right? Super important. I mean, and that relationship of a fifth is just it's going to come up everywhere, especially for bass players. The next two notes, well, let me address that one. That's just the octave. So there's another F note. So there's a 1. There's C and F again. That note there is a little bit unique because that's going to be the flat 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be the major scale. So if it was the flat 7, it makes it a dominant 7. Or kind of fits into the pentatonic scale too. So that's where the notes come from. If I'm playing in the key of F, right, then it goes to the 4 chord, B flat. All I did was just drop down a string, and I'm still using that same pattern, that same box, back to 1. Then it goes up to 5, to 4, back to 1. So you don't have to come up with all these different fingerings for each chord. They're all gonna exist right in there. That's how I look at it. They're not saying that in this very brief description here, I don't believe. But root note and the octave, okay. So there's okay. So, and these notes are going to consistently be in lots and lots of bass lines, lots and lots of songs. The root, the fifth, the root, or the octave. That's going to bring a little bit of color to it. Kind of depends on the song itself. If it was F major, you're probably not going to be hitting that E flat. But blues tunes, rock and roll tunes, rhythm and blues, Motown, that kind of stuff, they're probably going to be playing that. Is that starting to make sense, or is that adding to the...
Why do they have 3 different box shapes?
Okay, so these, I look at this, and with the exception of that, the open strings there, these two are the same to me. You're just... So right?
Yes, they are. Okay. I see
Okay,
that.
so that's based on the E string. There's your root note. Now, when I go to the 4 chord, I'm playing that the exact same shape with the same box, but I'm starting on the B flat note, which is the 4. If I was up here in A, there's 1, A. I drop that box or that shape down, start from the note D, which is the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, now I'm covering the 4 chord. And I didn't have to come up with some other different fancy fingering to move to the 4 chord. And I'm back to 1, there's 5, there's 4, back to 1. Now, not every song you play is going to be just 1, 4, 5, but a lot of them will be. And I'm just talking about 1, 4, 5, just to kind of put that to use. Keep it pretty simple there. And 1s and 5s are big in the bass world. So here's 1/5. You know, suddenly I defined it by going to the third of the chord. So I'm in A now. That's a C sharp. You know, let the piano player or the guitar player define that. You know, you're just going along with that. Now to 4. This is more of kind of like a cowboy song, you know, but 1s and 5s. Right? Does that make sense? Let's, if you want, we can go through some of these examples and see how they're. What is Punching Bag? I don't know that song. Do you? So. Okay, so there it is in A. Now, it might not look like that box because we've got the open string, so the net's doing some of the work here. But if I was to move that up to C, what would it be? It would be, so it'd be, right? You get that box shape down, you really don't have to think too much. You can jump into other keys. Right, so there's that. Night Train, James Brown. Okay, so there's, I don't know where this riff started here, but I do a song by Otis Rush called, I forget what it's called. That's kind of more of a shuffle thing. They're just playing straight eighth notes there. Yardbirds. I got mine, or I got one, or something like that. We do a Yardbirds song. So that, anyway, point is this bass line here. It's getting hot in here, isn't it? That's right out of the, you know, it's right out of the chord. So you've got, this song's probably in G. There's your root, there's your fifth, there's your octave. You don't get any stronger than that. And that note there's the flat 7. So the guitar player or the piano player, they're probably wailing away on a G dominant 7. And so you're bringing a little bit of funkiness, a little color into it. You know? If you went, what's he doing? That's not cool, man. You know? Suddenly, if you lower that 7th, that's cool. That works. So that's what that's about. This line here is, I didn't even think of that when I was talking about these boxes over here, but that comes up what I say. Okay. Now that's funny because I was thinking about this. I was just working on a Freddie King version of what I'd say. If I can play it. Let's see. Right? And then up to, right? Tons and tons of songs come right out of that. That box, that shape.
Okay, got it.
Another thing too, I was talking about this the other day. You notice this whole thing is the whole step. That is. That comes up again and again, you know, that distance, that box, that shape. And so if I was going along and here's the 1, there's the 4 right there, you know, D and A. I don't know where I was going with that, but just so many bass parts and guitar parts too are going to be that whole step, that distance of 2 frets.
I noticed that the Johnny Cash song they had me doing earlier had employed that, and I didn't put that together until just now.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is just I tell people, get used to that distance, get used to that grip. Because it's going to come up again and again and again, and that's, you know, and then every now and then you'll have a half step, and that'll bring a little color to it. You know, it seems like to me the half step, wherever a half step comes up, that's those are really strong points and really definitive moments. The whole steps are kind of, it's like I was saying before. As soon as you go there, I'm throwing a third. Now I'm in G major, and it's real clear. But here, it's just 1 5 1 5. So your piano player, your guitar player has a lot of room to work. They can be kind of weaving in and out of some major and minor ideas. So you're giving them space, and you're just defining those really strong points, the 1s and 5s. Is that adding up to anything
it
so
is.
far? Cool.
So much better.
Black mat. Wow, I didn't know that was in here. That's cool. Okay. Jumping and jiving.
I've noticed that playing the double bass is so different than playing the electric bass.
Literally 2 different instruments.
They really are, and I think that's part of another reason why I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to my movements
Yeah.
with the double bass and
Yeah.
my style on the double bass that the electric bass is almost like relearning
Mm-hmm.
and how difficult it is to be relearning something when you're so
Oh yeah.
set on.
I feel the same way about acoustic and electric guitar.
Okay, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's more certainly. There's more of a contrast there, the upright and the electric. But
Okay.
same kind of thing. Requires different muscles. Different amount of strength. So this one's throwing in that note, but you're still so there's an open A. That is a third there. And it's thrown in the D, that's the 6th. But you're still operating from this box, though, if you look at it. Same here on the B flat. Back to 1. What did they do for C? I think we've been over that before, too. So there's part of that box, right? Throwing in the 3rd, the 6th. And then going back to, what did I do? This is fun. That's a cool line. That would be a good one to spend some time with.
Okay.
So we're getting into Black Magic Woman, but that's, I hope that explains something to
It did. It clarified
okay, cool.
a lot. And I'm not sure why I couldn't get it before that, but thank you.
I would.
Appreciate it. I don't want to stop recording because every time I do, you say something more important.
I know, it's funny. We do that when in rehearsals too. It's like just leave it on the whole time.
Yeah.
I would definitely spend time just pick a key, go start anywhere, and just there's nothing wrong with just doing that. And then maybe take note of when you start learning some songs and picking them out. Just notice how that's coming. If it's coming up, and how is it coming up, and how often. Let's see. Remember Donny Hathaway?
Name's familiar.
Got really into this song. I've heard this song hundreds of times, but I love this song called "The Ghetto." Right. This is more of a kind of a pentatonic scale, but this box that they're talking about is right out of that scale. So, see, there's that box again. He's throwing in that note from the scale, and then we've got those 2 notes from the pentatonic scale. But you can see that shape and that grip is still right there.
Do that scale again, please.
So there's one. We could continue it, but so there it is in B flat. If we were to play it open E, right, open A, or G, A, or D. Same thing, just same fingering, just drop it down a string. And I wouldn't mind throwing that on at one point and showing that to you because that's the bass line. There's a few little things in there, but That's a great song to practice to, I think, you know.
Okay.
So there's that. I don't know. So the box shape is. What do they? Oh, okay. We're getting. This is totally different. Then we're getting into some other rhythms and what are we saying here? Okay. So we've got a G note. Ricky, don't lose that number. So dotted to an eighth, dotted quarter to an eighth, or quarter with a tied to eighths. I feel like I was talking about this with somebody just the other day, and I just, you know, this is just one of those rhythms that pulls you along. What's this one down here? Devil's Haircut. I don't know who that is. Do you?
Mm-mm.
Oh gosh. Approximately like that. 1 and 2 and there it is. Oh, back. Werewolves of London. Okay, there's a good song. Let's see. Gosh, I shouldn't even be reading this. I should just know it, huh?
Not necessarily.
See, there it is. Something like that. See. The end. Duke Ellington, all right. Well, so making it a little more interesting than just straight eighths and Pretty Woman. Oh, this is a really good line. I mean, everything about that song is just phenomenal. Getting into syncopation, so that's what I was about to say, syncopation. So, but back, I'm kind of getting ahead there. Back to the box shape. Is there anything more we can?
Wow, is it time already?
No, it's not time. I mean, wow, it did kind of fly by, didn't
Yeah.
it? But,
Yeah, we're ready.
let me show you that Donny Hathaway thing.
Okay.
It's
Please.
so cool. So I'm in B flat. I think this is coming right out of that pentatonic scale, and there's your box, right? The box shape. So and that's it. It's like you can listen to that over and over, and it never gets boring. I'm not sure why, but it's. And there's two chords that they're playing over it. I'd say a B flat minor 7 to an E dominant 7. You know, so the bass player could be doing that, but it wouldn't be the same song. It just wouldn't be that groovy, right? And then. And we can put that on we can Bluetooth that too if you want to check it out at one point.
Okay.
Oh, you want to try it out? Let me just make sure you got it. I mean, you got it in the video, so